Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are once again talking about the Lakers Nuggets series, and I just got to say, this Nuggets team that we saw tonight is the team that I picked to win this series. I said Nuggets in 7 games in my preview and predictions video for this series, and when I made that prediction, this is the team I thought I was going to see. I thought we were going to see Monte Morris have big games and provide a good scoring role for them off the bench. I thought Jerami Grant was going to step into that spot as the third best player on the team. And we really saw it tonight. We saw them dominate their bench minutes. Morris finished with a plus 10, and Rondo was minus 13, as was Markieff Morris. Caruso was a minus 6 in this game. So we saw the Nuggets win those bench minutes, and that was a huge deal. The superstars played incredible. Jamal Murray really saved the game at the end by knocking down those crazy three-pointers and having that beautiful, beautiful pass to Paul Millsap for the dunk. He has just taken such a step forward in this playoffs, and I just think it's flown under the radar a little bit. Like, this guy has gone from being someone who people didn't even think was an all-star level player, and now I think that there's a legit discussion that needs to be made on whether he's like top 20. Like, he has been so good in this playoff run. As a shot maker, as a shot creator, his passing has just gotten better and better throughout the playoffs. Like, we have seen Jamal Murray become a legit star, and it's what's making this team so good. Obviously, they have their superstar in Jokic, and Murray's stepping into a guy that can be the second best player on a championship level team. That's why this team is where it is. And oh boy, do we see it again tonight. 28, 8, and 12 for Murray. Just missed out on that triple-double. He was 10 for 17 and 4 for 8 from 3. Obviously, he had some turnover struggles, especially in the fourth quarter. But as the announcers mentioned on many occasions, everyone kind of had tired legs, and it was not a very pretty fourth quarter on either end, to be completely frank with you. But Jamal Murray saved this game for the Nuggets with his huge shot making down the stretch. Throughout the game even, it felt like every time the Lakers went on a little run, and it was like, oh geez, it's going to happen. The Lakers are going to come back and demoralize this Nuggets team, and this series is going to be over. And every time Jamal Murray hit a big three-pointer or a tough shot in the lane or something, this was just a great game from him. Joker had another masterpiece, 22, 10, and 5. 9 for 14, very, very efficient. Another really good game from him. He also had a few turnovers in that fourth quarter that you would have liked to seen not be turnovers, obviously, but just those two continued to play brilliantly. But this game was on Jerami Grant's shoulders. Jerami Grant came up huge for them. 26 points, 7 for 11 shooting, 2 for 5 from 3, 10 for 12 from the free throw line. We've seen him struggle in the last couple games against the Lakers because he's exerting himself so much on the defensive end of the floor, guarding LeBron and Anthony Davis throughout the game. So to see him score 26 points in a game is just downright incredible. Get to the line 12 times. He was playing that physical brand of basketball that we know Jerami Grant brings. He's a tough guy, great defender, and he changed this game. Without that performance from him, they probably don't win. So he changed it. Monte Morris changed it. 14 points on 5 for 7 shooting, 2 for 4 from 3, and he was plus 10 in his 22 minutes. Those two just had monster games to turn the Nuggets' fortunes around, really, because we saw Murray and Jokic play really, really well in Game 2, and it just was not quite enough. But with the strides I've seen this Nuggets team take in the last 6 quarters, we've now seen 12 quarters of basketball between these two. The Lakers were clearly the better team in the first 6, and the Nuggets looked like the better team in the last 6. So Michael Malone is a really, really good coach. We've seen it in these first 2 rounds with the adjustments he made to help this team come back from being down 3-1. And I think that he's made some similar adjustments here. We saw the Lakers go to that zone. I think that might be something Frank Vogel brings out a little bit more going forward, just because it worked wonders. It forced so many turnovers. I think Rajon Rondo had like 4 or 5 steals in the fourth quarter. It felt like there were like 8 possessions in a row where the Nuggets had a turnover. Obviously, one of those is that Michael Porter Jr. tip in where they called offensive goaltending, and I don't completely agree with that call because it kind of did look like a pass from Monte Morris, but yeah, they could not take care of the ball, and the zone had a big effect on that. And so did Rondo in general. Like, this guy just seems to be the perfect point guard for this team because he's such a good passer and he's a pretty solid defender at the point of attack. Obviously, he hasn't been a great defender for a long time, but we've really seen him step it up in these past 2 series against the Rockets and now against the Nuggets. He's changing this team with his defensive effort and the playmaking he brings for them on the offensive end of the floor. He's the perfect third guy to have on the court alongside AD and LeBron because we know that AD is not a guy that can really manufacture his own shot, and that's what makes LeBron the perfect superstar for AD to be playing alongside because of his ability as a playmaker. But Rondo has a similar playmaking ability as LeBron. Obviously, he doesn't do much else for you, but he's a good enough passer that he just really can set up AD in perfect positions. I was pretty disappointed with the game that we saw from Anthony Davis. I kind of thought that he was going to have an encore and have a huge game after that enormous buzzer beater in game 2. I mean, imagine if he misses that shot. Nuggets are up 2-1 right now, and everyone's like, the underdog's coming again. They're coming again. But yeah, he just didn't have the same type of game. It felt like he had a pretty good first quarter, but after that he just disappeared. Like, I think he attempted 17 shots, which sounds like a lot, but they just need more from him. Like, there's no one on this team who can guard him, especially when Jerami Grant's not on him, because I just think that he can bully Millsap around in the paint. Obviously, he can bully Jerami Grant around too. Jerami Grant is pretty skinny. If Jerami Grant puts on weight, look out. This guy is a defensive player of the year level guy. But AD just needs to look to dominate more, especially in the paint. He settles for too many jumpers. He's just such a frustrating player to watch at times because you see stints of his greatness, but he just doesn't like playing inside. So you see him taking way more jump shots than you would like. I'd love it if he played that Jokic role more where he's just posting people up every possession. But that's just not where his game's at right now. I thought LeBron played great. We saw some of the best defense I've ever seen from LeBron. I don't remember his days in Cleveland. Obviously, when he was in Cleveland the first time. When he was in Miami, he was also a very good defender. But this is some of the best defense we've seen from LeBron in a long time, and it's been a big boost to this team because he was a big part of why that zone was so effective. A lot of the time, he was guarding Jokic on those post-up attempts against the zone, and obviously he's big and burly enough that he can bang with Jokic in there. So he also had a great game offensively. He really brought them back into the game with that stretch where he was just attacking the rim and getting dunks time after time, although a lot of those were in the fast break. He also had that huge stretch in the third quarter where it felt like the Nuggets were just going to blow this one wide open and crack the lead open to 25 or 30, and LeBron just hit a couple middies to cut the lead back down to like 12. The Nuggets then went on another run, and the Lakers went on another run to cut the lead down to, I think it was down to 4 at one point before Murray's onslaught of threes ended up sealing it for the Nuggets. But really, really impressive effort from LeBron. It just was not enough. And I think a big part of that was those struggles from the bench. Obviously, Rondo played well in the second half, but in the first half, I thought he struggled. And they're going to need that bench to play better, play more like we saw in Game 2, because Rondo and Caruso both had great Game 2s. I still feel pretty confident about my Nuggets pick. I don't think it's crazy that I went with Nuggets in 7. I think that this team is really good, and I don't think that the Lakers are that much better than them. That makes it a crazy pick. Game 2, I thought that the Lakers played really well, except for maybe LeBron kind of wasn't being a great competitor in the second half in Game 2, but other than that, like, LeBron had a masterful first half in Game 2, and AD had a masterful second half, and they were still barely able to win. They needed that buzzer beater to go in. And this could be a completely different scenario if the Nuggets were up 2-1. So I think this series is far from over. I'm sticking with the Nuggets. I just have a lot of confidence in this team. I think that Nikola Jokic, am I gonna if you take out Curry and KD since they were injured, I think he's better than Anthony Davis. I think that he's the fourth best player in the NBA behind LeBron, Kawhi, and Giannis. I'm putting Joker number four. I'm putting him over Harden, putting him over Dame, putting him over AD. This guy's incredible. His playmaking, best in the NBA. It's weird that he's a center and that playmaking shines through, but he's just such a good passer. His scoring, I mean, let's square him up against AD. Let's compare him. Defense, Anthony Davis wins. Not a competition, but Jokic is an average defender. I think that he gets ripped on a little bit too much for his defense because he really gives good effort out there and he's a basketball genius, so he's always in the right position. We saw him have a huge deflection steal today. And I think that that steal is probably going to go under the radar and nobody's going to talk about that. But him getting that deflection and getting that steal changed the game for the Nuggets tonight. So Davis wins defense by a lot, but it's not a complete icebreaker like it is when you're comparing like Michael Porter Jr. to, I don't know, Bradley Beal. Like, maybe not Brad, but Michael Porter Jr. versus Drew Holiday. When you're comparing those two, Michael Porter Jr. is probably a better offensive player. It's close, but I think MPJ is better, but his defense is so much worse than Drew that you're taking Drew. Drew's a better player. I don't think that it just seals the deal like that when you're comparing Jokic and Davis. Who's the better rebounder? AD was iffy today. I think he finished with 2 rebounds, and the Lakers got destroyed in the rebounding battle. It was 44-27 after they destroyed Denver in the rebounding battle in the last game. They only had 4 offensive rebounds today, so great. Big credit to Michael Malone for making that adjustment and having his team crash the glass a little bit better. They obviously weren't able to running transition as much, but really this team doesn't do much of that to begin with. They're one of the slowest paced teams in the entire NBA because Nikola Jokic is their best player, and he does not play at a very fast pace at all, in case you didn't notice. He reminds me of Po, the Kung Fu Panda, in the way he plays, like, just so steady, and I love Jokic, but getting back to my comparison, I think Jokic is a better rebounder. So we got defense to AD, rebounding to Jokic, playmaking, Jokic, scoring, I'll take Jokic. AD's really good too, but I think his post game is a little overrated actually, just because it doesn't seem like he gets easy shots that much. And we saw Jokic absolutely bully Anthony Davis at the end of game 2 on the glass and in the post. So I'll take Jokic there. What aspects of the game am I missing here? I think I covered pretty much all the main ones. I take Jokic there. So I think that Jokic is incredible. I think he's the second best player left in these playoffs, and I'm not counting this Nuggets team out. I think the keys going forward, if they're going to win this series, is the rebounding battle. If they can win it as convincingly as they did tonight, the Lakers have... It's going to be really difficult for them to win this series because we saw them corral a large sum of offensive rebounds in game 2, and it was still a very close game. And in this one, we saw the Nuggets out-rebound them, and the Nuggets came away with a win that should have been a lot more lopsided than it actually was. The other key is the turnovers. If the Lakers can force turnovers at the rate that they did in the fourth quarter, watch out. Nuggets are in big trouble because in the fast break, nobody wants to stop LeBron James. So yeah, those are my keys moving forward. The rebounding battle, the turnovers, and the bench battle too. Because if Monte Morris and Michael Porter Jr. are outplaying guys like Rondo and Caruso, that changes everything. So yeah, I think that's going to be it for me. I really enjoyed watching this game. It was incredible. Great games from Murray and Jokic, and great effort from LeBron and Rondo to try to bring the Lakers back into it. I hope that you enjoyed. Leave a comment on what you thought, like and subscribe. And ladies and gentlemen, I will see you all again very soon.